Imagine a single encrypted financial alert flashing not on your phone, but on the private screens of the world's most powerful investment firms. An alert so significant that it triggers a pre-programmed, billion-dollar acquisition protocol for not one but two specific currencies. This isn't a speculative trade. This is a calculated move based on intelligence so profound it redefines the term insider information. The doors to the most exclusive financial opportunity in a generation are being silently forced open, and a select group of global elites is already moving inside. The code name for this operation? The RV. While the majority of the world is distracted by stock market fluctuations and crypto volatility, a seismic shift is occurring in the foundational layer of global economics, the realm of sovereign currencies. The Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong, for decades considered long-shot, high-risk assets by the mainstream, are now the central figures in a coordinated geopolitical and economic play that has been years in the making. The evidence is no longer hidden in obscure forums or whispered in hushed tones. It's now visible in the cold, hard data of banking regulations, International Monetary Fund reports, and the strategic positioning of capital from institutions that simply do not make mistakes of this magnitude. They are moving with a unified purpose that signals one undeniable truth: the timeline has accelerated. The meticulous multi-year projects to rebuild Iraq's economic infrastructure and to transform Vietnam into a global manufacturing powerhouse are reaching their final, critical stages of monetization. This RV opportunity is the mechanism for that monetization. A simultaneous revaluation event designed to reset the value of these nations' currencies to reflect their true, intrinsic worth on the world stage. A worth that has been artificially suppressed for political and economic reasons since the days of conflict and isolation. The central banks of Iraq and Vietnam are no longer passive entities. They are active architects, working in lockstep with international bodies to create the perfect economic storm. A storm that will not destroy wealth, but rather create a new wave of it for those positioned correctly. The coordinated actions between the Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam are the final pieces of this intricate puzzle, involving everything from the removal of currency auction manipulations in Iraq to the deliberate strengthening of foreign exchange reserves in Vietnam, all pointing towards a single inevitable conclusion. The trigger finger is hovering, and the global financial institutions have seen the target. They are not just investing. They are securing their position for the inevitable recalibration of global wealth. A recalibration that will leave those on the outside looking in, wondering how they missed the signs that were so clearly laid out before them. The rush is on because the window of opportunity, the precious time between institutional positioning and public announcement, is slamming shut faster than anyone anticipates, and the final countdown to a new financial reality for millions has already begun, playing out not in the public markets but in the quiet, decisive corridors of power where the future of money is being rewritten before our very eyes. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the most critical piece of this entire puzzle: the why now. Why? After years of silence and delays, are the vaults of global finance suddenly swinging open for the dinar and the dong? The answer lies in a secret, high-stakes meeting that never made the headlines. A meeting where a single document, an IMF report stamped strictly confidential, was circulated among a select group of central bank governors and institutional asset managers. This document didn't just suggest economic progress. It laid out a definitive, irreversible pathway for both Iraq and Vietnam to achieve monetary sovereignty and international basket inclusion. And the deadline for compliance was not 2030 or 2028, it was the final quarter of 2025. This is the catalyst that has sent the smart money into a frenzy. For Iraq, the path has been grueling but is now reaching its triumphant conclusion. The Central Bank of Iraq has successfully executed a monetary reform plan that seemed impossible a decade ago. They have demonetized the old, Swiss-printed currency, effectively removing trillions of obsolete dinars from the money supply, they have successfully launched a new, internationally recognized currency note with advanced security features, and most importantly, they have functionally eliminated the black market premium on the dinar by transitioning away from the dollar-dependent currency auction system that artificially suppressed its value for so long. The new exchange rate mechanism is already in its testing phase, backed by Iraq's staggering and often underestimated natural resource wealth, not just oil, but vast reserves of phosphates, sulfur, and gold, creating a tangible, asset-backed valuation that makes the current rate a historical absurdity. Simultaneously, on the other side of Southeast Asia, Vietnam is executing an economic masterstroke. The State Bank of Vietnam has been aggressively accumulating gold reserves, a classic move to bolster confidence and back a strengthening currency. While their trade surpluses continue to balloon as global manufacturing shifts irrevocably into their territory, creating a massive and sustained inflow of foreign capital, they are not just participating in the global economy. They are beginning to dominate entire sectors of it, from electronics to textiles, and their currency needs to reflect this new status as an industrial titan. The international community, through the IMF and World Bank, has given both nations a clear ultimatum. Align your currency with your true economic output and achieve financial transparency, or face isolation from the next phase of global trade. They have chosen the former, and the revaluation is their gateway. This isn't a speculative event based on hope. It is the final logistical step in a meticulously planned economic integration process. The banking channels are being prepared, with major global correspondents quietly updating their systems to handle the new, higher-value transactions. The financial infrastructure, from international ATM protocols to SWIFT code modifications, is being prepped for a switch flip moment. The silence from the mainstream media is deafening, but the roar from the financial engineering departments of the world's most powerful banks is unmistakable. They are not waiting for a public announcement because by then, the profit window will have closed. They are acting on the definitive technical signals that the final administrative hurdles have been cleared, and the only thing left is for the governors of the CBI and SBV to walk up to their respective podiums and announce to the world what the markets have already priced in. The RRV is, therefore, a synchronized monetary policy event, a forced recognition of economic reality that will occur in tandem to prevent massive, destabilizing arbitrage and to signal a unified front for Asian and Middle Eastern economic power. The intelligence that leaked wasn't a rumor. It was the operational timeline, and the clock is now ticking down to zero. So here is the ultimate gut-wrenching question that will define your financial future for decades to come. When that official announcement finally breaks, and the new, revalued rates for the dinar and dong flash across every news ticker on the planet, what will you be doing? Will you be among the fraction of 1% who acted on the intelligence, who positioned themselves during this silent window of opportunity and are now watching their foresight and courage pay off in real time? Or will you be on the outside, desperately scrambling for information, watching in stunned disbelief as the gates of wealth slam shut, forever separating those who knew from those who merely hoped? This is the stark reality of the situation we now face. The period we are in right now, this very moment, is the modern equivalent of being offered to buy Manhattan for a handful of beads. It is the fleeting, final opportunity to acquire a significant position in an asset at an absurdly artificial price before its true, fundamental value is recognized by the entire global marketplace. The moment the rates change on the screens at your local bank or currency exchange, the opportunity for life-changing wealth transfer is over. It will be transformed into a simple, stable currency exchange, and the historic profit window will have closed permanently. The global investors and institutions we discussed are not gambling. They are making the most calculated and informed decision of their careers based on a convergence of geopolitical, economic, and technical data points that all scream the same conclusion. They understand that this is not merely a currency trade. It is a fundamental realignment of global economic power, a repricing of national assets that has been delayed for decades. For the individual, for you, this represents something even more profound. It is a rare bypass of the traditional slow wealth accumulation models. It is a chance to not just get ahead, but to leapfrog generations of financial struggle in a single well-timed move. The path is clear, but it requires immediate and decisive action. Your first step is education. To move beyond this video and conduct your own due diligence. To verify the facts about the CBI's new currency notes, the SBV's gold reserves, and the IMF's public statements on financial integration for both nations. The evidence is there for those who look with a critical yet open mind. Your second step is sourcing, identifying secure, legitimate, and transparent channels to acquire these currencies before liquidity tightens and prices become volatile in the final run-up. Your third and most crucial step is secure storage, ensuring your investment is physically safe, documented, and readily accessible for when the exchange process is formally initiated. Do not let the fear of the unknown or the paralysis of analysis rob you of this moment. History is filled with tales of those who saw the signs of transformative opportunities, from the dawn of the internet to the rise of Bitcoin, but allowed doubt and inaction to hold them back, only to lament their hesitation for the rest of their lives. This is your signal. This is your moment of clarity. The double RV opportunity is the financial horizon, and the dawn is about to break. The question is no longer if this will happen. The only question that remains is whether you will have the courage to be there when it does.